Peace, Grand Rising, Kings and Queens. Peace, Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Like, share, please like, share, subscribe, and donate. Thank you, Riri. Riri's in here early. She got in here. She's moderating for me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Love her, love her, love her, love her. So let's go in it. We're going to go straight into it. I'm not pulling no punches. I'm very wary about my timing now. These days, I'm very concerned to make sure that we can get a lot of stuff in. And so that's why I like to just go ahead and go straight in. Okay, so last night at 12 o'clock, I decided to address some comments that were made about me in different platforms, and a lot of negative stuff was said, and so we wanted to get down to the nitty gritty and find out these things why these comments were being made. And it was interesting. It was really interesting to see that how many people um, would have several different names and several different things to come on and say different things. So you be thinking that is a whole bunch of people saying different things about, but it be one person, and that was very interesting to think about it, that this one person would go through the trouble of having hundreds of different names, and why that they would be just channeling their energy on trying to to say things or do say things about me. So we had a very, very interesting conversation last night. And so today, like I promised, I said yesterday, if I didn't get enough support and donations, that I wasn't going to come on yesterday. And I did. I came on yesterday because you guys, really stepped up, and I appreciate that. Matter of fact, I have something for you guys. Um, Oh, okay, didn't work. But anyway, so I would like to say thank you much, and as long as I see the support, I will definitely come, and I will definitely support you guys. If you guys have channels and everything, you can definitely put it on mine, and we'll definitely build and guide each other. All right, so back into it. So yesterday, I pulled out some champagne cologne from AJ Lester, and I pulled out some British Walkers. Today, I'm going to pull out some more stuff. I don't know if I'm going to do it on this session or if I'm going to do it on a later session. But so let's talk about what the fashions were. Also, the lingo. So I was coming up and thinking about some of the lingo that we used, and what I noticed was, and please, people, don't think that I'm against Puerto Ricans or Jamaicans or any other people. I'm not. What gets me though is, how can a whole people, lie and say that our culture is theirs and their culture is ours? That doesn't make any sense to me, And so I just, when I see stuff like that, when I see 50-50, and I hear some stuff like that, it makes me wonder, like, what is it about us that it makes other people want to be us, or want to emulate us. What is it about us? We don't want to do that with anybody. I've noticed we don't want to be somebody else. We really just don't. We don't want to be somebody else. We want to be ourselves. And so a lot of other ethnic groups want to be us. And I guess, it's that's complimenting us. But when you go to the extent of saying that, we were there, or we created this, or we did that, that kind of goes overboard. And so I don't want people to think that I'm just coming out with Puerto Ricans and Jamaicans, because I'm not. But I am stating the facts. I'm going to state the facts. And the facts are that what we do, and what we create, and what we like, and everything, other cultures and other groups, as I could say, um, they're fond of it, and they're I guess I don't want to say mad. I want to say they're upset that they didn't think of it first. But I think the amount of time that it takes for them to try to down us, or emulate us, that they could be able to create some things for themselves. That's just basic. Create something for yourself. Don't try to take somebody else's stuff. um do for yourself, and make it for yourself. So I was looking up a list of words that, I don't know how old some of you guys are, but if you grew up in the 60s and the 70s, these are some of the words that you might have heard. Far out, groovy, right on, bomb, brick house, can you dig it, foxy mama, jive turkey, and some of the things that were in these different places. Like I can remember early saying stuff like, "Oh, that's the joint," or "That's the bomb." You know, take for instance, uh, marijuana was called grass. And I'll give you well, I'll tell that story later, but it was grass. So if you heard grass, the term grass, as younger kids, we thought that's exactly what it meant. So of course we tried to smoke the grass that was on the ground. To our surprise, that wasn't it. But that's where some of the terminologies and some of the things that happen. So our lingo as us are different. And so just imagine if Puerto Ricans came from Puerto Rico, and or Jamaicans came from Jamaica, they would have to adjust to our lingo. And that's just for anywhere. If we went to Jamaica, or we went to Puerto Rico, we would have to adjust to their lingo. And that's just a fact. So for Puerto Ricans to say that, because if you think about it, what they're saying is that in Puerto Rico, they did this. This was a part of their culture. So when they came to America, or the Jamaicans, when they were in Jamaica, that was part of their culture. So when they came to the Americas, then they were used to and saying and participating in the stuff that we were doing. So I just, that to me doesn't make sense. It doesn't, because say for instance, um, if you're speaking Spanish, right, and you're this is a Spanish speaking country, right? When you come to America, especially the Bronx, then you have to know English, and then you have to know our slang. So in 70 and 71, I can't see them doing that. I can't see them coming and saying, "You jive turkey," I can't see that. And if you guys can see that, then maybe, maybe tell me, maybe put me on to something. But I don't see that. I don't see a Puerto Rican or Jamaican come in here and say, "Yo, this is groovy. This is really groovy." Or bad mama jamma, or something like that. I just don't see it. So in this process of saying 50-50, those are some of the proofs and the evidence that you would promote that what you were doing. So since that hasn't happened, I don't think that they should even say 50-50. I just don't see it, and saying that they coin certain things. Now, one thing that I can definitely say, and I could definitely say, is the creation of hip hop turned into a $1 trillion business. And the people that turned it into a $1 trillion business is not us. Maybe I could say it again. The people that turned this hip hop into a $1 trillion business is not us. And so, how did they turn our things into a $1 trillion business for them and not us? So, the same way that Puerto Ricans are coming in and Jamaicans are coming in, they want to do just like those other people and say, "This is ours," and turn that $1 trillion into some of their pockets. I looked at Fat Joe the other day, and he was talking. And I remember Fat Joe. I remember Fat Joe not back in the 70s or the early 80s or anything. But I remember that he tried and did try to go to everything that was hip hop. He tried to go to. He really did, and he put his face in there, and I guess he shook hands and he did this, and so he did that. But when you listen to Fat Joe now, when you listen to him, I think in his mind, he believes because he did do that, that he's eligible to say that either him or his big brother or someone in that circle were the ones that were a part of the creation. And that's just not true. It's not. And so as we look at things in a whole, why would you, instead of like, okay, I don't paint. I'm not a Picasso or anything, but I do know how to do graffiti. I know how to see this. I did that, um, and I know how to write graffiti and stuff. But I would never say that I'm co-creator of graffiti. I would never say that, and I think that's where the problem comes in. Yes, graffiti is $1 million business now and everything, but I would never just try to take claim of that. I wouldn't. And I think that's where the problem comes in with the Puerto Ricans and the Jamaicans, that they want to take claim of something. And I guess I get it, it might be, I guess, for financial gain. I don't know. I don't know. One thing that I do know is that being a young kid and creating something that is $1 trillion business now, we didn't think of it like that. We never, I wish that in those 70, 71 days that we knew or even thought, had a phantom, could even build and think that way, that it would turn out this way. But what our job is now is to, it's already got taking, but we cannot allow our children's children and children to believe the lies that are happening now. We can't afford to do that. We can't afford to have our generations after us to believe a lie. We can't afford that. So that's why I continue to do what I do, and like they say, I keep my foot on their necks and stuff, because if they would stop, I would stop. If I would, look at the award shows. Those people don't even know what took to build this industry. They don't know nothing. They don't know. All they know is that they got lucky and someone put them in a position, and now they're just going to run with it. And that's it. So what about us? What about those ones that stayed in their corner, their room, and just all they thought about was what rhymes, or what that am I going to say, or the DJ that checked millions and millions and millions and millions of records just to find that those records that had that little piece of break in there. What about those? What about those people that put in that work? And I want my platform to be able to bring those people to the surface. They deserve it. They really do deserve it. Um, I see Arkeef says, I still don't consider graffiti a true element of hip hop. I guess he wanted to say hop. Well, do you want me to explain it? And I'll explain to you where the graffiti comes in with hip hop. If you want me to explain it, I will. Just give me a thumbs up to explain it, and I'll explain it. How graffiti was implemented into hip hop. So I don't see a thumbs up, Arkeef. So I guess you don't want me to explain it. But so as I was saying, so people that need the recognition, and the people that really created this $1 trillion, and And I would think that knowing that you got $1 trillion business from someone, that you would say, here, thank you for allowing us to have this $1 trillion business. But that's not how it is. That's just not how it is. And so we're left with animosity and a great deal of anger because that's what happened. I'm dealing right now with that same exact element, and a person called me earlier today and was saying that the person that's I guess beefing with me or whatever feels left out. And when he said that, I really felt like, wow, wow. He feels like he got left out. And that must be a hurting feeling. And I don't know how I would probably deal with that, but that's a hurting feeling, and I shouldn't have said some of the things because um people did leave this person out because you really can't place someone somewhere when they weren't there. You can't say, okay, this person was playing the bongos and that's where that groove came from if they weren't playing the bongos. And so I think that's what happened. This guy says, I think I understand how it was joined in though, just my opinion. Okay, well, um, let me say how it was joined in because that's something about like what the topic is. So in early creation of hip hop, like I said before, there were no flyers. There were no flyers. There were no invitations because at the creation of hip hop, it was outdoors. It was really basically outdoors, and there was no how can you say there was no proposed time or place that the hip hop was going to be, you know. So, with that being said, flyers were not even a thing. Like it wasn't a thing. So after clubs and because and also remember this, and the early creation of hip hop, it wasn't a thing. People didn't want to hear this. This was something that was unheard of, and it was just a fad, and it was never going to be anything. And this is what everybody said. Everybody they said that the this thing called hip hop it was not going to be anything. So when clubs and parks and lounges and stuff were prepared to accept hip hop, then the flyer was born. And so when the flyer was born, the people that were, doing creating these flyers, because let me go back and say something. When hip hop became a thing, I mean, when graffiti became a thing, everybody did it. Like everybody wrote, and and some of the teachers, if you were in school and you gave a paper and it's got this graffiti on it, they will look like, what kind of penmanship is this? How are you writing this? And so a lot of people would in school would just be practicing and doing this graffiti. And so people, some people actually got good at it, and so they it continued. So going back to the flyer, when the flyer was introduced as a hip hop jam or a hip hop party or a hip hop function, it was done in graffiti. It was done in graffiti. So now you're looking at a graffiti flyer for hip hop. So that's when it was introduced to hip hop, because you see this. So now when you go to this hip hop party, you're basically knowing that graffiti, this the on the flyer, this is the cool people that's doing this graffiti, and that's what you're gonna see when you get to this party or this jam. So after the flyer was introduced, then artists started wanting this graffiti to be um actually in this thing called hip hop. Like so how did that become? That became, if you had a dungaree jacket or you had dungarees on, jeans, and someone sprayed a graffiti tag or a graffiti piece on that jacket with these different colors and stuff, that became cool. It really became cool. And so, if you had this jacket that had like DJ Phase on it with in graffiti, that became a part. So when you went to this party with this graffiti on, that's how it became considered an element of hip hop. Um, to me, it's like, you know, I think people are saying that without one element, that it's not hip hop, or without two or three elements, that it's not hip hop. And like I said on earlier video, the term hip hop wasn't for the actual culture of this thing, the dressing, the style of graffiti. That it wasn't meant for that. It was meant for the style of the genre of music that it was. And so as time went by, it became uh, a part of the culture of it. And so, by saying that, to me, and this is just me, um, if you say you go to a party and you don't see any graffiti, does that mean that graffiti isn't a part of the culture that goes with this party? No, it doesn't. But one thing I can say, that the three elements that I know are music, talking on the mic, and dancing. Those three elements you can't do without. Like, you can't say, okay, this is a hip hop party, but you don't got nobody making the music. You don't have nobody doing the dance. You don't have nobody talking jive on the microphone. So those three elements, I guess you would consider the true elements of hip hop. And that's just basically it. So yes, it might be a part of hip hop, because of the culture sense of it, but it's not a key element that this hip hop genre or culture is. And I hope I explained that the correct way for you to understand. Oh, that makes sense how you explain. Thank you. Yes, yes. So I try to make it work for everybody. Um, Going back to the slang, talk of it. So remember now, contrary to any belief, anybody come up with their philosophy or their story on how hip hop was created. If you can't pinpoint and say that hip hop is in the area, not even say because I know the exact date for me that I know. But if you can't say in the area of 1970 and 1971, anything after that, 1970 and 1971 were missed. You get what I'm saying? So if that's missed, then how can you be a creator of something that you missed? Because obviously it was there. It was there in 70 and 71. And so, just like graffiti, you look in the 50s and the 40s, and some trees still have it where a boyfriend and girlfriend would carve their name in the tree and put a heart around it. That's graffiti. That's graffiti. When you're in your class, and I don't know how old, like I said, I don't know how old people are, but with those big wooden desks that you pull up the thing and you can put your books inside of there. How many of us wrote our name on that table? How many of us took their notebook and did their name on it? How many people maybe had a crayon or a magic marker, and just couldn't get the urge, could not have the urge to write your name on something on a wall or something? So graffiti has been in existence, and that's why I get so angry when I think about people saying, "Well, you know, soul music was there, or disco was there before hip hop, or something like that." So yes, music has been around since forever. Talking jive has been around for forever. Dancing has been around forever. But that does not consider or can to be the creation of hip hop. It's just not. These things, the way these things, just like with a cake, this is the best way I can describe it. You could have strawberry shortcake. Let's use that. And it could be just a shortcake and a strawberry on it, right? Now, what makes it unique is the way you glazed it, the way you added the other ingredients to it to make it just just extraordinary. And so when this happened, when this so-called thing, hip hop happened, we were using these things that were comfortable to us. It was comfortable to hear James Brown. It was comfortable to hear Picnic Markham. It was comfortable to dance a certain way. That's what it was comfortable to do. So yes, those things combined created hip hop. So that's why, for me, when one person says that they created hip hop, it's totally impossible. That's number one. When someone from another culture claim that they were a part of the creation of hip hop, that's unacceptable as well. Because that part of culture that you're talking about, if that's not used in hip hop, how can it be created? Sugar was was made forever, right? Um, and so if you put sugar in anything, it sweetens the taste. And that's the same thing with what we did. We took James Brown that was already here, and we took Picnic Markham that was already here, and we took this style of dancing, karate moves that were already here, and put them together. And that's it. So going back to it, which I said I wasn't going to, downgrade them or anything, but the question still remains: what part of your culture did you do to bring to hip hop? And that we, till this day, what do we use from those other cultures in hip hop? What do we use? We don't use the music. We don't use the lingo. We don't use the dance. So, what do we use out of this 50-50 to make it 50-50? I don't know, I don't know, but I do know that I want to. Last night, I didn't get a chance to shout out everybody, number one, and I didn't get a chance to read a lot of the comments. So I want to do that today. All right. So Riri, number one, have to shout you out first. China Black, I see you. You're right under Riri as far as comments. Mr. TJ2X, gotta shout you out. You're definitely, and people, I want to know if you guys are subscribed. That's another big thing that I wanted, a topic that I wanted to say. Or do you guys just come in and see when I see your face or whatever? But are you guys alerted and are you subscribed to my channel? Bruce Smith, 1754, set him straight face. Peace. Peace. Shout you out. Definitely. Definitely shout you out, Bruce Smith. R. Keith, same thing. Shout you out. Peace. And I hope you're subscribed. I hope you're subscribed. I think you clarified it for me even more by identifying the key elements. Yes, thank you. First class citizen, definitely an honor. Anytime I see you, whatever you say, I'm going to put it on there. Your comments are always welcome here. Grand Rising and Cool DJ Phase and family. Yes, Grand Rising. So like I was saying, these 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 people, and oh my God, I just don't want you to understand. I just want you to understand where I'm coming from. If you were around in the 70s and you know anything about Bronxdale in that Soundview area, you would know that the first section was basically closer to 123. And when uh I guess Spanish people, I guess that's what you're going to call them, when Spanish speaking people were migrating, that area near 123 all the way to Hunts Point was a lot of high volume of Spanish people. So that's the first section. The second section is in the middle. The third section is closer to the borderline where the pink people were. So imagine we're surrounded basically. Bronxdale was basically surrounded. So that's where fighting, karate, boxing, you know, the love of weapons, all of these things come into play because we're surrounded by two groups of people that couldn't stand us. The Spanish, because it was not only just Puerto Ricans, it was Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Cubans, all the Spanish people, they were there. On past White Plains Road, you had Italians, Irish, Jewish, all of these pink people that didn't like us. So the Black Spades were able to fight against this racism. And so that's where a lot of this comes from. So Bronxdale, tight knit Bronxdale, like I said, was in between all of this. So there was such thing as protect our own, which that doesn't happen these days. People don't protect their own. And us being the little rascals, the little bad ones that you want to call us or whatever, we were protected. We were really protected. And so that allowed us to be free, to be, do things freely. If you guys, I always talk about Pathmark. Pathmark was in the third section. When I talk about the shrimp box in White Castle, that was in the first section. When I talk about Freddy's Pizza and the record shop, that was basically straight up to Westchester Avenue in the second section. So all of these things surrounding us and in our vicinity is what we created hip hop with. This is what we did. This is where our daily routines were, and that was it. Bruce Smith says something. The KO to the tether BS would be if the hip hop artists centered the culture on the music, not the rapping and DJs. All the music is sampled from FBA, funk, jazz, blues, R&B, and not from the Caribbean. Yes. One thing that I can say, I can actually say, and this is real. that with the Caribbean, they admit that they tried to copy everything that the United States were doing. They admit it. And for them to say that, okay, they copied everything we did, but then yet and still we're going to say that Cool Herc came and showed us what to do. Where does that make sense at? Like, I love you, Herc. I love you if you're watching this. But where do they do that at? Where? Um, and I don't understand it. Flash too, Flash as well. Where did you have this in you to say that you're the start of this? KRS-One, same thing. What inside of you says that it gives you the authority to say that this is this and this is this and this is this. I don't understand. And for the Spanish people, just like oh God, I said I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't going to bring them up, but if you really realize what Dr. Columbus did, he did everything that a Herc would have done. He did everything that a Flash would have done. And he took something, which was my name, and he knew that people were already, that DJ Phase was in a buzz, that people were talking about this buzz. And so he attached his name to my name. And the way he could do it would be to say something against me. So now people are saying, who is this that says something against Phase? Who is this? Who is this? And then keep on doing it, keep on doing it. So after a while, he doesn't have to say Phase anymore because they know, oh, yo, that's the dude that says something against Phase. Instant stardom. So it's really ingenious what he did. And we don't look at it like that. We don't. And that's what this whole thing is all about. The record companies saw that, okay, they're doing this thing, this underground thing. How can it, like on King of New York, he says, if a nickel bag gets sold in the park, I want in. You guys got fat while I was gone. It's my turn. I love that movie. I love that part. And so that is the basis of what Spanish people are doing, what Jamaicans are doing, and everybody else, pink people, everybody else. So that's where the whole how it's centered and what. So imagine this. Now imagine this. Those people that say disco music was before hip hop are not musicians. They're not. And what they are saying in reality is someone told them that. So if someone told them that, because I see this all the time. This one person that was saying, he was saying the stuff that I've said. And so if it worked for me, then it's going to work for them and for the person else, the person is saying. And that's the mentality that they have. You see? So he was saying the same things that I was saying, and only saying it coming from him. JG11, peace, peace, peace. What's good? Hey, JG, you just coming in. Are you subscribed? Are you subscribed? Bustero. Oh, man, listen. Oh, wow, I'm subscribed. Listen, this guy, you guys, you got to look at this guy's work. This guy, the Bustero, he's a genius. He is a genius when it comes to these videos. He did a video, he did a couple of videos for on me and to tear up the Dr. Columbus. And when I looked at the genius way he put those videos together, it was incredible. And I saw that because he was such a genius at it, that people, the YouTube and these different platforms had to, I don't know what they call it, but they had to knock away some of his likes and knock away his things to come through. And he just oh my goodness, and I saw that and I would say, wait a minute, this is genius work. Why is he not getting the credits, the likes and everything? And he told me one time, he said, it's something banned or something that they say that they do. And shadow banned. Thank you, Mustedo. He was shadow banned, and he was the first person I saw that. And then I go back and I look at my videos, and I saw where I was shadow banned. And it made so much sense. When I talk about blackness and stuff like that, and pink people and stuff like that, and how the Spanish people are trying to infiltrate and stuff, it gets shadow banned. And I couldn't understand why. But thanks, Bustero. Thank you. Look, we got Akeem in here. Peace, peace. The Most High is in here. Oh shit. And so, this is something that we gotta understand and know. And so back to what one of the things that I admire about the brothers that put together Freedmen. Those brothers understand what the movement has to be. Marvin McKinley, peace. What's good? They understand why there has to be a movement for us. They understand that. And this is the problem. So just like back in the days, there were people that exploited us. We have to take those exploiters and push them aside. And that's what I'm doing. I'm saying you listen, you try to mosey on into our stuff and be a part of us and say 50-50 and input you into our culture. And we have to say no. We have to do that, people. We have to let them know, this is not going to happen. It's not going to work. You're not going to come over, take our culture, and do what you want with it, and that's it, and walk away like okay, we did it. So that's why they get us to, and they're so angry with us because we're stepping down and saying you're not taking this. And they're so used to seeing us get taken advantage of it. And I hate to say it. The pink people took advantage and still are taking advantage of us at all times, every angle. They are. And so, what do we have that is ours? Something that they can't take. And that's hip hop. People, that's hip hop. Wayman Casey, peace. Until FBA, we let them say whatever. Oh gosh. Oh man, I don't think I have enough time. Man, I don't have enough time. But I'm glad that they said that. The boosted, I gotta check your channel out. Are you talking to me, Bustetto? Because oh yeah, oh he's selling boost. Oh yes, you gotta check out his channel. Oh my goodness, he's a genius. He had me laughing. Like, he had this one guy, and I forget his name. He he's on a lot of commercials and stuff. And he goes, you know what? I like it. You're a liar. You lie a lot. And he said that, and he put the guy there talking about Dr. Columbus, and I cracked up laughing. Like, I laughed so hard that was just genius for him to do that. And so, yes, you when you go to see Bosteto, you're gonna be definitely entertained. You're gonna be, you're gonna see so much. It's because he's a genius. And I appreciate you, Bosteto, for sticking in there for me and doing it, doing those videos and bringing him out. I really appreciate that. Okay. This one, like I said, I was only going to do an hour. Drewski, that's the guy. That's the guy. Bustetto said it. Drewski. And Drewski said, the way Bustetto put it, it was like, he said, I like you. You lie a lot. You lie. And then he showed the lie that Dr. Columbus said, and that was just, oh my goodness, that just it made my heart like really, really think. And he was the first one that noticed how Dr. and Bustetto, we were just explaining that the other day about what he did. He said that I'm talking about Dr. Columbus. Dr. Columbus said that if I could prove that I DJ'd on at the anniversary for TBB, that he would not say anything ever again. And if I couldn't prove it, then I wouldn't say anything ever again. So Bustetto got the pictures. He brought up the pictures and he showed it. And so this was supposed to be the lock to knock him out, to don't say nothing. But that shows what kind of person Dr. Columbus is. Okay. So Bustetto, yes. Bruce Smith, JG11, Most High, First Class Citizen, China Black, oh my God, Wayman Casey, JG11, Marvin, McKinley, everyone, all of you guys, I hope, Akeem, I hope you're subscribed, and I need to go. I need something done. If you noticed that my live streams are not is not profited. I don't profit from them like other people. I haven't had that set up yet. I'm in the process of getting all of that set up to where you pay monthly and you're able to donate and everything. But until then, I need you guys to donate. I really need you guys to donate. The Cash App, it stays on there. It's a ticker, and it stays on there. So I need you guys to donate, and you have been. I got, Riri. She puts this on here. Please hit the like, share this link, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell to stay notified. Support this channel via Cash App Phase Tracks. Okay, so I need you guys to do that. I didn't even get a chance to show you guys the stuff and everything today because I'm making sure that I'm cutting my lives to an hour. Once it goes over an hour, then it loses a lot of time, lose entrance. So I'm going to start keeping them at an hour. So you guys, I will be coming back this afternoon, maybe 5 or 6 o'clock. I don't know. Like I said, hit that notified button bell, and you'll know when I'm coming on. And I always do it an hour before I'm coming in so that the people can get it. First Class Citizen says I'm subscribed. Yes, Bustetto said he's subscribed. Bruce Smith said he's subscribed. So yes, people, and let's keep our foots on those 50-50 necks, and the other people that says Marvin says he's subscribed. So yes, let's keep their foot on their necks. And the way we're gonna do that, is we're going to donate to this channel, and I will be able to bring all the evidence that we need to shut them down. I brought the evidence last night with this guy that had 100 different names, and he you know what he said at the at the end before he changed to another name? He said, "Oh well, now you're changing your story, your tale. I'm out. Bye." We ran his ass up out of here. We ran his ass up out of here. And so he came back as someone else, as another name. So it's just thank you guys. Thank you guys. I couldn't do it without you guys. So like I said, hit the like, share, subscribe, and donate button. And I'll see you guys in a couple more hours. Peace.